First, congratulations to our men's cross country team. I mean, winning a championship is the ultimate goal in everything you do, and it's awesome. I mean, really proud of those guys. Obviously disappointed in Saturday. I mean, our team expected to win. I think our fan base expected to win. Our margin of error, we're not good enough to overcome 3 turnovers and dig that big of a hole. I thought they fought their tails off. We stopped ourselves. I thought Dylan missed a couple throws early in the first half. Obviously, the interceptions. 2 of them sailed on him. I thought the very first one, we went forward on 4th and 3 because I thought we were playing good on defense. And if we don't get it, we'll stop them, hold them to a field goal, or get the ball back. And their defensive end made a great play. Dropped 3 yards. Dylan never saw him. That was give them credit. That was a good call and good play. And they got the ball down to the 24-yard line. We were able to hold them to a field goal to leave it at 6-0. And then the other 2 interceptions, they got us in a hole. Now, at 24-0, I thought our guys were the locker room was fine, and I mean, in a lot of instances, you think about going to a different quarterback when the quarterback has that bad of a half. That was never thought. Sat Dylan down and said, "Look, man, if we're going to win this game, you just got to be you." And I thought he came out and played really well in the second half. We got some early momentum. We got the score back to 24-10, and then we gave up a field goal, and I thought they stole a little bit of it back. But we had an opportunity to make it a one-possession game with about a minute to go, fighting down from 24-0 and then 34-10. I mean, I think our kids show resiliency and ability, but we obviously our margin of error is not great enough to take away or give 3 takeaways and not take it away at all. And we had 2 close ones in the first half where we had an opportunity to take it away. Christian Ellis's toes on the sideline after Zach Morris caused a fumble. And then they had a miscommunication on a handoff that I thought we had a chance to get. But outside of that, we didn't touch any balls in the passing game. Thought played hard, but playing hard is, it's our expectation around here. And we didn't make enough plays to win the game. So disappointed, and now we'll move on to UNLV.
Questions? At the end there, Coach, you talking about that last drive in the final minute. Obviously, the 2-point conversion kind of changes things, but the way that possession went, you guys get it with about 5.5 minutes to go. Did that play out the way that you wanted it to, as far as the pace and the clock and everything?
I thought we were moving up good. The 2 penalties that were, one was against them, the pass interference where DJ fumbled the football. I mean, we have the ball down there at the 2-yard line. That took a little bit more time than we want. We had to come back and take that one over again. I mean, that was an 11-play drive that ate up a little bit of time. I mean, obviously, we took a couple shots over the top to see if we could connect to score immediately. They didn't connect, so we were able to take what we could get. We had to run the ball on once to get a 4th and short to keep the drive alive. I mean, obviously, we'd have liked more time on the clock. We would have been about a minute 1 or 58 seconds if we'd have got the onside kick, which in today's college football, 58 seconds can be a lifetime. I thought probably the biggest disappointment was they had a 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 4 with about 9 minutes to go that they converted. They were 3 of 11 on 3rd down. They converted that one. I probably wasn't aggressive enough with the call. Thought I had an idea what the concept was going to be, and we didn't push hard enough to the running back, and they were able to get it, and that cost us about 4 minutes because they got another 1st down, and then before we made them punt, that took a big chunk out of it. Because we got the ball back and we had to go 90 yards, and we got down there and scored. Dylan had the ball sail on him a little bit on the 2-point conversion that kept it from being a 1-possession game. But obviously you want to score fast. That's why we took those shots, but we took what we could.
What was for trying to get the onside kick and trying to keep that going? Was that what you were saving the timeouts for and anticipating?
Trying to save the timeouts just in case if we didn't stop them, we could get the ball back on defense. But we had to use the one for the 2-point conversion early in the half. We were calling for the 2-point, and then we had a couple of the field goal guys that on just did an execution error, so we had to waste the timeout there. And then, you can still get the ball back with 2 minutes. With 2 timeouts, you're not going to have very much time. But they called that face mask penalty on DG, and that ended the game.
You talk about the great week of practice you had following the San Jose State game. Just after what happened at Nevada, what's kind of the vibe this week, and how's the focus of the guys?
I thought the practice last week was really good. I thought today's practice was really good. I thought they were actually a little chippy today, which was a positive. We don't do a whole lot of ones versus ones just because of we got some guys banged up and the physical nature of it. We were going 7-on-7 because I think the speed of that for both the offense and the defense is important. Had a couple of collisions that were probably more violent than they needed to be, and got guys pushing, shoving. I mean, I thought the energy was great. I mean, I liked. I mean, their mood was obviously disappointed, but they're going to show up Saturday and expect to win the football game, and that's how they're preparing. I think that's just give Dylan a lot of credit. Dylan felt bad. It wasn't Dylan's fault we didn't win. I mean, if we take the ball away 3 times on defense, then we make up for his mistakes. So Dylan's voice was really good in the locker room at halftime. Disappointed it wasn't the same scenario at halftime, obviously, that we had at Hawaii. I mean, they were talking about that, but I thought the preparation today was great.
Coach, speaking more on Dylan, you talk about how he's the voice of this team, and after kind of having a rough game with him, how do you still see him as a leader this week, still trying to motivate the team, or what has his message been?
Dylan doesn't change. I mean, Dylan's he's a big-time player. He played really well in the second half and gave us a chance. I mean, as bad as the couple plays he had in the first half, he played just as good in the second half. That even got us close to the game. So, I mean, you got to be a competitor. You got to be unbelievable to be able to shake off what he did. He'll be fine on Saturday. I mean, you go from 20 to 25 and being Mountain West Conference Player of the Week and Arch Manning Player of the Week, and as a coach, you're like, well, is he believing that? I don't believe Dylan. He probably didn't even know Arch Manning won the award. I mean, until I told him. He don't care about those things, and that's why he was able to come back and play like he did in the second half.
Going back through what guys said on Saturday night, Dimitri, he mentioned that he felt the defense did do a great job of canceling gaps. Was that kind of your read too in some ways, or? It
was more. No, it wasn't the canceling gaps. It was we had a couple guys, especially some young guys, that when Brendan Lewis had a little bit of success in the first half, all of a sudden they start trying to do things. That's not their responsibility. I mean, we had Derek Moore one time. He's chasing the quarterback when they pop a run after we'd cut it 24-10. I mean, if he just stays on his side, we get guys when they have a success here and there, and they didn't hurt us on big runs with the quarterback in the first half. It was just enough with the threat of the zone read that we had a couple guys get out of position. I mean, the 2 big plays they had in the second half were the one when we had them backed up after we cut it 24-10, and then 2 plays later we missed a tackle that goes for 28 yards, and they get a field goal out of it. And then in the touchdown they had in the second half was after the punt return that they started at the 32-yard line, and we have a 3rd and 11, a pass interference call that I don't agree with, that they were able to put the points on the board. So if we hadn't gotten better on defense and played like we did last Saturday, that could have gotten really ugly. If we don't hold those 2 field goal attempts in the first half, the sudden change. I mean, they got a touchdown out of the sudden change, and then the pick 6. I mean, if we're not keeping them out of the end zone, that it could have gotten really ugly, and then we'd had no chance.
With more time to digest it, I mean, what was your read as well on Derek Moore's performance as well?
I think Derek Moore is got an opportunity to be a really special player. I mean, he made a couple true freshman mistakes, but he made more positive plays. Especially being banged up the way he is, Derek's got a really bright future.
And Coach, looking at this UNLV game, I mean, what is the biggest thing that sticks out about this team when you guys approach them?
Well, they've obviously they've had some success early on. Jaden Maeva, the quarterback, Devin Lester, the running back. I mean, he's like Bill. He runs really violent and really physical. Ricky White, I mean, he's at number 11. He'll go up and make competitive catches and does a great job competing for the ball in 50-50 throws. And then Jackson Woodard, the number 7, their middle linebacker, will linebacker, he is everywhere. He's a transfer from Arkansas, came with Coach Odoms from Arkansas. I mean, he does a great job, gets them lined up. I mean, Cam Oliver, one of their corners, he can blitz, he can play safety. I mean, he can cover inside like a nickel. I mean, they've got some really good athletes so that they present a great matchup. And they had an opportunity against Fresno on Saturday night. Fresno's a good football team, 31-24. They drop a pass in the end zone. That would have tied it up. I mean, they're playing good football. We have some similar scores. I mean, I'm excited for them to come in here and have a chance to compete against them. I mean, Brendan Marion's doing a great job, their offensive coordinator, giving you some different looks out of the personnel groups that they use. They run some of the triple option stuff that we ran around here the last couple of years in different sets and different formations. And I think Jaden Maeva does a great job of reading it and keeping the play alive down the field. So they present a good challenge.
With what Marion does run the go-go, the triple option with the spread concept hybrid kind of deal, I mean, have you scouted something like this before or really seen anything what they're doing?
Well, when he was the offensive coordinator at Howard back in 2017, when I think UNLV was favored by 30 or 40 points something, and Howard went in there and upset him, he was the offensive coordinator. So I remember watching that back then, and then he went on to William and Mary as a coordinator, and then he was a receivers coach at Texas, at Hawaii, different places. Obviously, he believes in what they do schematically, and he does a great job. They're very well coached. They do a good job there. They play physical. So, I mean, the triple option, obviously, you're never right on the chalkboard because they don't have to block two guys. They do it right. So it presents challenges to get lined up, to try and force them to force their hand. And I think they've done a really good job schematically throwing it and running it all year long.
Is that the main message to the defense this week, just alignment and just getting the right spots? Or
Well, it's making them do things they don't want to do, and knowing what to do, how to do it, know who you have, whether we're playing man or zone, know what your responsibility is, and play your freaking tail off. And we play really hard. We gotta continue to improve every game.
Can you just talk about the challenge of facing, another quarterback that's capable of running, just with the success that other teams have had in you in that regard?
Especially with how he handles the triple stuff, and he can do it downfield. The idea is to get the ball out of his hand. We'll see. They do a good job. If they want to design it for the quarterback to keep it, they can. He does a great job of reading the triple stuff. And then, if you get pressure on them in their 11 and 12 personnel stuff where they're not, they can run triple out of any personnel, but when they traditionally try and throw it in those formations and tendencies, he can tuck it and run. And then, there's a chance Doug Broomfield could be healthy too. So you've got the opportunity to see potentially both of those guys, and I think they're both really good quarterbacks. I think Jaden has really come along and has gotten better and better every single game.
There's still an oar on the depth chart between Isaiah and Tito, but Isaiah is, he had more snaps than him against Hawaii and even more against Nevada. Is he kind of the guy at left guard right now, or how are you determining?
Well, it's still a three-man rotation. We can put in we're better when all three of those guys are playing at full speed, and Zay plays both right and left guard, so he can spell East for a little bit. Tito can come in and you can put East on either side. Zay on either side. So we'll continue. The one that practices the best and then plays the best during the game will continue to get more reps. But that three-man rotation will stay because I think it gives us the best chance to be successful. Those six have proven to be pretty good.
There's no more or either between Devin and DC. Is Devin the to go?
We are. Devin, we've got packages. We've had different packages for him for every game. He's gotten better in every opportunity he's had. The two quarterback runs Saturday, they did a nice job of blocking those up. He got in the end zone. He threw the ball well at the end of the first half to try and get Dylan to settle down a little bit. So, Devin, we have 10, 12 play packages for him every week. And
then injuries-wise, was Cy practicing today, or is he?
He did. Cy practiced today. Tate practiced today. So both those guys are expected to go. Tavian moved around today. We'll see if he can practice tomorrow. Derek Moore was good today. Dante Martin practiced today and looked pretty good. So we're expecting all those guys to be back. Trying to think who else didn't play Saturday.
Connor Widoff, do we have an update on what?
Don't know. He has an MRI this week, and then we'll have a better idea if we can get him in the rotation for the last 4 games. I said Dante. Yeah, he practiced today. So
in Connor's place, Wyatt McClure, he didn't come out of nowhere, but he stepped up in a big way to start in that role. Can you just talk about how he's performed?
Wyatt has done a phenomenal job. He's physical. We can release him out of the backfield. The pair between him and Trace Bruckler. Coach Selfo's done a great job of putting those guys in positions to be successful. It's not like you can put one guy in there and only throw it and one guy in there and only block, and both those guys have done both. But I think Wyatt has really been a physical presence on the line of scrimmage. He's a walk-on that we're getting more out of. We recruited him. He chose to come here over San Diego State. which was a positive, and I think he's proved his worth over the course of the time that he's played. He got banged up a little bit early, was able to fight through that, and I mean, he's one of those tough guys that you want on your football team that he's done a great job and gotten better and better every week.
Coach, what about with the opportunities that you've had at linebacker the last couple of weeks and the emergence of players like Lowry and Burke?
Those guys have gotten valuable reps. Jay Sean has done some really good things. He's made some really inexperienced mistakes at times. Jaden Wilson came in and did a couple really good things Saturday and made a couple of true freshman mistakes a couple times. But I think those guys are getting valuable experience as we go down the road. Getting Cy back will help significantly. I don't know that Cy would be ready to play 60 plays just because he hasn't played in a couple weeks and the conditioning of all that. But getting Cy in there for 30 and getting one of those guys in there for the other half should really shore up that position. Obviously, we're going to miss Alec Marenko in the first half of this game. I thought Mahalis Santorinios came in the second half and played really well at Mike linebacker. So getting Mahalis back from the targeting from the week before, he'll be able to fill in for the first half, and then we can get him and keep Alec as healthy as we can, because Alec's fighting every week to get to the game, and you wouldn't even know it. I mean, as physical as he plays and as hard as he plays, he spends as much time in the training room as I've ever been around to give himself an opportunity on top of, I mean, he's a really good student too, so that probably helps him. That school comes to him. Now he works his tail off, but he works his tail off in everything he does.
You said on Saturday, you guys need to win 3 or 4 to make a bowl game, and that's the stated goal amongst everybody at this point. With the margin that slim, how are you treating that? In some ways,
we got one. Nope, we got one game on Saturday. Even when I made that statement against Mexico State, we didn't talk about, okay, we got to win this. You don't ever go down I don't, as a coach, when you start the season, I don't ever go through the schedule and say, yep, we're going to win here, probably lose here, win here. You're shortchanging your team if you do that. Our expectation is to win every single game we play, go 1-0 the week that we play, and the next challenge up is UNLV. Obviously, our opportunities are getting less and less. We gave one away Saturday because we gave the ball away. Our guys expect to win. They've expected to win every single week we played. And, the goal is obviously to win the 5th conference championship and then get to a bowl game. That hasn't changed. That's still the goals that they speak about. But the most important thing is focusing on the task at hand, which is practice Tuesday, practice Wednesday, practice Thursday, and then go out there and give yourself the best chance to win on Saturday. And we're playing a team that's already bowl eligible, that's competing for the conference championship still. They need a little bit of help, but so they'll come in here ready to play, and we'll show up Friday or Saturday at 4:00 with the same attitude, ready to play.